You're having problems with prioritizing and how to figure out what level or how to prioritize. This video is for you. Welcome back to another Little Shot of Confidence, the solo episodes for the Casa de Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Julie DeLucca-Collins. And if you love these tips, you want to make sure that you subscribe and ring that little bell, ring my bell. I have a song in my head. Ring my bell. Okay. For those of you who are listening on the podcast feed, I'm sorry. I am definitely distracted today, but I am talking about something that is incredibly important, and that is priorities. It is February 1st, 2024, and this is going to be advice that you're definitely going to be able to use for the rest of your life. Learning how to prioritize is not something that I learned right away in my life. The first time that I had issues with this, well, let me tell you a story. It was in high school. I had so many different things going on. I was in the drill team. I was involved in my church youth group. I volunteered. I had to take care of my sisters because I was the oldest. I also had a job so that I can afford hanging out with my friends. I took honors and AP classes and I wanted to do it all. But ultimately, you can, because when you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to the other. And that has continued to be a lesson that keeps coming up. I want you to think of your life and think about the times that you want to do one thing, but you don't do it because you had to do something else. And typically, what we end up doing is if we are not intentional with the choices that we make and what we are going to give our attention, our time, and our priorities to, then somebody else's priorities become ours. Now, how do I prioritize? Good question. And this is something that I was told to do a long time ago when I was in high school. And I thought, well, that's stupid. I'm just going to do and go along and live my life by default. What ended up happening is that you become very burnt out. And who wants to be burnt out? Let's enjoy the journey. And when we're burned out, by the way, we don't show up well for anybody, most importantly, for ourselves. So this is how I create priorities. And by the way, not normal, work in progress. So I ask you to also pay attention that you are a work in progress and give yourself grace. Start by listing all of the different categories of your life. Okay. For me, I have my spiritual health, my physical health, my relationship with my husband, my personal development, my finances, my business. That could be your career. I also have my relationship with my friends, my family, the community, having fun. Whatever it is that the categories in your life are, you want to list them all in a piece of paper. Once you list them, you want to go ahead and grade yourself. This is where the grace comes in. You're going to grade yourself and give yourself a grade. You could be A, B, C, or you can do 1 to 9 or to 10, rather. I don't know why I said 9, 1 to 10, 10 being best. And start to look and evaluate, where are you in all of these categories? Think about the person who you want to be in the future. Think about the life that you want to lead in the future. Once you have that clear picture and you look at the actions, at how you are showing up in all these different areas of life, and you grade yourself in these different areas of life, the picture is going to become a little clear. I'll give you an example. For me, in the future Julie, I want to be strong and active and be able to grow welderly, not elderly, right? However, today, when I'm grade myself in my physical health, sure, I'm in okay physical health, but I am not moving my body in the way that I would like. So my grade is going to be a little low. You want to know what I'm giving myself? I'm giving myself a 4 because a 5 is a cop out grade. Now, in the other areas of life, like my relationship with Dan, hashtag handsome hot husband, or my relationship with my family and friends and my clients, my business, the finances, all of these get a grade. Once you have all of these areas graded and you're not beating yourself up for it, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go back to the vision for your life. you're going to go back also to the goals. For me, not only do I have a vision for the next 5 to 10 years, I have a vision for this year, for 2024. This is the year of freedom for me, right? I have that word. That's my word for the year. And now I also want to make sure that I understand out of that yearly goal, I've broken it down into a 12-week goal. My 12-week goal is very specific. And now I'm going to compare my grades to my goals because those goals that I have for the next 12 weeks tell me what I should be doing day in and day out to move closer to those goals or outcomes that I want for myself. And if the things that I am doing day in and day out for the next 12 weeks are not in alignment with what I am saying it's important to me, well, then you're going to be a mess. Now, how do you know what is important to you? Once you've graded yourself and you've given yourself a grade for all the different categories of your life, it's important to then figure out what comes first, second, or third. So once you have all of this written out, you start to ask yourself, all right, physical health or my relationship with Dan, which is more important? Okay. For me, it's my relationship with Dan. My relationship with Dan or my business, which is more important? Okay. My relationship with Dan. What is more important, my relationship with Dan or my relationship with friends? Well, my relationship with Dan. So, all of these, you're going to ask yourself, take the first area of life and compare it to the others and find which one is number one, number two, number three, number four, and so on. And this way, you will see which are the top priorities, which are the areas of your life in which you feel the most called, which really matter to you. Because again, many of us end up doing things that we don't realize don't matter, and yet we're investing our time and energy into them. Once you figure out what priorities, what order the things matter to you, then I want you to go and do a calendar audit and look at your calendar and figure out if the number one thing that you say matters above everything else is the thing that you're actually making time and space in your calendar, right? So if I don't know that I have selected time to be with my husband, to hang out, to watch TV, or just be, right? Then I am really not prioritizing him, even though I've said he is number one priority. The same thing with my personal development, my health, my business, the finances. So look at these areas of life, the order in which they are important to you, and then look at your calendar and make sure that you've created the space and margin to work on them. And by the way, this is not something that, you can go from not doing it to doing it. It takes practice. And this is why it's important to stay curious and make this fun. Be open to the idea that this is something that you are going to get better and better as you go. This is why the other reason you want to analyze on a weekly basis, hey, how was my week? Did I do the things that I wanted to do? The things that support the goals that I have, the things that will get me closer to the vision of the person that I want to become, not only in a month from now, in a year from now, in 10 years from now. So you have some work to do, and you don't have to do it alone. You can always tell me in the comment how you are doing. And if you have questions, I am always happy to help because having our priorities in order is the way that we can increase our confidence, is the way in which we can show up better, not only for ourselves, but for the people around us. So, my friends, you know what I'm going to say. Go and set up your priorities. Go and compare them to your goals and to the daily actions that you're taking. And more importantly, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Thanks a lot. Until next week. And don't forget to subscribe, by the way. Very important because that will help me continue to bring you this content. Thanks a lot.